Alrighty, guys. So I'm just walking back to my room, and apparently, my entire dorm is just completely out of power. So everything's out of power. I can't really do anything. My actual blue snowball microphone doesn't connect to my computer, so I had to connect using a power device. But now that doesn't work because we're out of power, and I'm using the internal microphone on the computer. It's just really bad, and I don't know if you heard, but we're out of power, and that kind of sucks. But we're gonna make through it. So you won't be able to see this video for quite a while until the power gets back on so I can upload it. But anyways, number 30, we have Battle Course 1 from Mario Kart Super Circuit. Now, as you can see, it's just a plain square, simple battle course. The difference between this one and Battle Course 3 is that middle texture patch, as you can see, was actually a square instead of a circle, so that allows for more area, a little bit more texture, so a little bit more room for you to mess up and slip up and all that kind of stuff. But the interesting part is that there on each of the four corners, instead of there being one arrow that points inwards towards the track, there's actually two arrows, I guess I'll call them arrows, or two blocked corners, obstacles that point outwards in each of the little corners. So that adds a little bit more variety onto like which layer and which section you want to use for your battle course and to hide away from other opponents. So it can bring some skill to the competition, but it's really just simple. Anyways, we are at number 29. This is Battle Course 1 from Super Mario Kart. So it's a very simple track. It's actually very, very similar to Battle Course 1 from Mario Kart Super Circuit. But Super Mario Kart's it does have an all dirt texture, as you can see here. It does have a little bit more of a rough from like kind of like SNES Donut Plains. The tracks, it has that little dirt patch in the middle, and it does have the two arrows on each corner, just like the Mario Kart Super Circuit version does have. But the only thing that makes it different is that on the top and the bottom, or the north and south ends of the battle track, there are these little corners, or these little stubs, as you can see, with like little grass patches and everything like that block you off. That allows for a little bit more variety, a little bit more places to hide from your opponents, so that definitely makes it a little bit more interesting than the GBA version. But nonetheless, let's move on to number 28. This is Thwomp Desert from Mario Kart Wii. I am not a big fan of this course at all, this battle level, and especially on coin earners. It really sucks because it's just a glorified circle. Again, there's cacti all around the outside, so you can't really go out of the circle again, so you're kind of confined inside the circle. There is one out of bounds area. You could go under the Thwomp and end up dying here, but as you can see, when the Thwomp makes his ground, that's when you can't really do anything, because there will be wave shocking all over you, and it's you won't be able to move, you won't be able to collect any coins, especially in coin runners, because that's just a big problem when you can't do it as the Thwomp is going down. And it just makes, for me, I kind of find it unplayable, and it's my least favorite of the Mario Kart Wii battle courses for this exact reason. I just can't find my way to make it playable. It's hard to collect even a single item box or a coin, and it's hard to play that track. I mean, I don't even know. But anyways, number 27, we are at Skyscraper from Mario Kart 64. So basically, Skyscraper, again, there's a lot of these circle tracks, but Skyscraper does have a lot of layers. As you can see, you are going down to the bottom of the course. It's a really long fall for you to like save your time. So I guess it could be really strategic. So if you're falling, but then someone else kills himself before, and you end up winning because you were in the midst of falling a long path. So that's one advantage that Skyscraper has. There's also 4 tunnels and 4 corners that you could go through, as you can see here. To get yourself either to the middle of the course or the outside of the course, and they each have a little bit of circles. And I do like the ledges of these of this track, because you can jump over them easily, whether or not you have a star or not, like I do right here. And I do like the effect. I do like the graphics of this one, because you do have like the metal girders, and you're just going through them all the time, and I actually find this quite entertaining. But again, the execution's not really there. But number 26, this is kind of a bland track, but we do have Block City from Mario Kart Double Dash, so it is a little bit more refined. Again, as you can see, it's just a simple block. I mean, it's not really hard to do. It's definitely not Block 4 or Block Plaza, level, because, there's that, you can't actually appear on the blocks. There's like a dead end here where you can't even turn left until that block, I believe, falls, because I do believe one gimmick here that is that these blocks will eventually fall, if I'm not mistaken. Then you could go through this section, and you will, find your way around. Actually, now that I think about it, I do not think the blocks fall at all, but anyways, it's hard to do. It's hard to play because there's not really too many places to go, and it's hard to make like hiding spaces and to get away from your opponents. So that's why it's ranked all the way down at number 26. But number 25, we have Twilight House from Mario Kart DS. Now, most of these guys, you probably really enjoy Twilight House, but for me, I just don't know. I haven't really found like the enjoyment of Twilight House. I mean, it's a classic battle course. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely a classic. But I mean, you know, there's a lot of places to fall, which make it challenging. It's sort of like a black box with just, you know, a red skyline, so it's not, you know, terrible. You know, they could have done a lot better with like the background instead of making it as eerie as it was. But again, the DS's compression ability and the amount of work that the DS had, it just wasn't able to comprehend all these, you know, complex images. So they just used a bunch of, I don't know, just random images to use. But you know, I still like the effects. It's not a bad course, but the maze and how it blocks you off from different rooms it's a little weird to me. And this is the exact same thing for Honeybee Hive in Mario Kart 7, so that's why I put that slightly above Twilight House, which ranked in at number 25. You basically have the exact same thing, but the thing I like about Honeybee Hive more is that each room is connected to one another, so it makes it easier to find opponents, yet at the same time having little hiding spaces for yourselves, like out here in these huts, and you know, hiding in between the holes into the rooms and all that kind of stuff. So it does make for some entertaining combat, which I do enjoy. And you know, there's not really too many obstacles except, you know, for the honey, but the honey don't really slow you down too much, so you don't really have to worry about it. I do like the rainbow effect that you just saw in the corner there. There are a lot of holes, and you know, I guess honeys and honeybees, they were pretty effective in this track because you got Honey Queen as a character and now Honeybee battle track. But this track, unlike the character, is actually not terrible. So let's move on to number 23. Sorry if you guys can't hear me. I feel like I'm not talking loud enough. But anyways, let's move on to Sweet Sweet Kingdom from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, our first Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Nintendo Switch battle track. My least favorite of the bunch, at least the Nitro ones, because I'm not counting, you know, the retro battle courses like GC and Luigi's Mansion and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, we have Sweet Sweet Kingdom. Again, reminds me completely of Sweet Sweet Candy, and I understand why they would make a battle track out of this, because this is like a new concept, a new area. You know, you just have all candy and all that kind of stuff. It's a very massive battle track too, but there's like, you know, it's like two sides and everything, and the details are pretty nice. But in my opinion, I've never been a big fan of like the candy themed stages. I'm not sure why. They do have some nice levels that you could, you know, go around the kingdom in the houses and all that kind of stuff, and you could go through certain tunnels that are shaped like donuts and stuff like that. But that's pretty much all there is to this battle track. And you do have that one chokeable ramp, but besides that, it's just a lot of scenery with just a bunch of basic obstacles that you just go around. So it's a little too big in my opinion, but other than that, I think it's completely fine. It's just personal taste. It's not really one of my favorite battle tracks. Let's move on to number 22, SNES Battle Course track. This is Battle Course 4 from Super Mario Kart. Now, you're probably thinking, Gabe, you just ranked this battle track before, but no, this is Battle Course 4. Unlike what you saw earlier this video when you saw Battle Course 1, Battle Course 4 actually has slightly more variety. It has a bigger square, you know, which makes it for a little bit more texture, more variety, more bad choices for people to make. And then it actually has 4 corners, 4 colored arrows on each corner, so that makes the variety that much different and that much more complicated. Therefore, it makes them a little bit more harder to find people and a little bit more harder to, you know, throw your red shells at them, because the red shells, you know, die in this game pretty quickly, and it just makes for some quite entertaining battles, not gonna lie. And even though it's quite simplistic, it's basically Battle Course 1, just, you know, with 2 extra corners added to it. I do like that they were trying hard on this one, and it is quite a complicated battle track to appreciate, but nonetheless, I mean, I think it's not bad at all. So we are moving to number 21. I alluded to this back when I was talking about Block City, but this is Block Plaza from Mario Kart Wii, and this is very complicated. This is basically Block City and Block Fort combined, because it has, you know, 2 layers. It has the layers from Block 4 that you could just climb up, and you could go around, you know, the statues and all that kind of stuff, and you're on top of the blocks. And then it also has, you know, the bottom parts where you could just drive around, as you can see here, and it has that Block City vibe as well. So it's really a combination, except it doesn't have that 3rd layer that Block Fort has in Mario Kart 64, but that's fine because all the blocks are connected to each other. At least the 2nd layer blocks by the purple circular figure in the middle. And I do enjoy the background now looking at it. It has the 8-bit mushroom flower star, and it has the question block, and an interesting mechanic. It's kind of like the Grumble Volcano mechanic, where some of the floor blocks and every single block will end up falling, except I do believe the middle parts will stay up. In the tall blocks, you can still ride onto them. It's just the statues will fall, so it will create another obstacle in the middle of the track when you are trying to escape it. So nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for watching my video. This is battle tracks ranked 30 through 21. you will soon see battle tracks ranked 20 through 11 and then 10 through 1. So I hope you stick around for the rest of this series. I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know what your top 30, top 43 battle tracks of all time are in the comments of this video, and thank you so much for watching.